choices to be made.
Welcome. You are about to take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition show. For the next hour, allow her to prepare you in becoming a magnet for a profound love-infused relationship by identifying and focusing on solutions through love. Awaken the light within and let your essence shine. And now, here's Deborah Beauvais on Love by Intuition, all part of the Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Welcome, everyone. Bonjour, mes amis. And yes, here I am, Deborah Beauvais, founder and owner of the Dream Vision 7 radio network, the Kids for Love project and the radio show, and many other things. But I love my Dream Vision 7, my baby. And for those that are tuning in for the first time, we are a Boston-based syndicated internet radio station with all the bells and whistles with technology. And you can listen whatever country you're in, whether you're in a car, whether you're at home, whether you're with your mobile devices, or even asking Alexa to play Dream Vision 7 radio, and she will. So we, and I should mention, and it's coming up because we are the proud media partner for the Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, New York, and they're going to be opening up in May, which a little while ago seemed like a long way to go, but here we are, spring, and it's glorious, and it's just beautiful out there. The birds are singing, so it's everything's starting to come alive. So we have an amazing guest. I actually met her through Cannabis, and she has her own baby and all the things that she has created and started. Her name is Eileen Bild, and she's CEO of Ordinary to Extraordinary Life, OTEL Universe. She's an executive director, ROKU, for channel developer, founder of the Core Thinking Blueprint Method, OTEL Talk show host. She holds a master's in transpersonal psychology and is a breakthrough S.P.A.R.K coach. She's also a published author and an internationally syndicated columnist. And the books that she's actually written in, you probably have heard me talk about them and have heard commercials playing. One of them is Chaos to Clarity, and the other one is Mayhem to Miracles, and it's a Sacred Stories series that we were doing together. So we are going to be talking about all of this, living fearlessly, mind, body, spirit balance. And so without further ado, Eileen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
And I really am looking forward to our chat. And for those out there that are listening, this is a live show. Bob is in the house, and feel free to call in. He'll connect you right away. And the number here is 833-220-1200. So, Eileen, I wanted to just ask you, because you've been through a lot of different health issues. A while back, you had the chronic, fibromyalgia, and then you had another issue. But first, let's talk about, at what time did you start to become more in the holistic arena? Was it because of the chronic illness, or did it go back even prior to that?
Good question. My awareness of the metaphysics and the mind, body, spirit came about because of my condition and my dealing with the fibromyalgia. But as I dove into it and dove into healing from the fibromyalgia, and I was kind of directed onto a new path, I realized that I was actually very open and aware up until about the age of 6, and then somehow I lost it and was living life the normal way that a lot of people do. And it wasn't until my body started to fall apart, basically through the fibromyalgia, and anything I did from the allopathic perspective was not helping. And I took a hard look and decided that something had to change. I had to do something different, and I didn't know what. And I made a declaration, basically putting my fist in the air, and I said, take me or heal me, because I'm not doing this anymore. It was controlling my life. I was just down that rabbit hole. And the turning point was when my oldest son turned to me one day and said, Mom, why don't you smile anymore? And I knew I had to do something. So that's where the turning point happened. And, you know, there's something magical when we make a declaration, when we make a finite intention of this is what I want, something magical happens. You know, the universe, like, opens up a doorway. Excuse me. And things happen that didn't happen before. And that's where my path started.
Yeah, I think that what happens is you become very clear with what you want, if you want to live or surrender to whatever happens. And I think a lot of people experience that, even if they don't have awareness, they come to that through some kind of chronic illness. And the whole idea, I think, with the chronic piece is that you don't really have a break. It's always there. You wake up and you might feel a little better, and then it hits. But do you realize, as well as I have on the journey of healing within, that a lot of these things that crop up in our bodies, really, it's the body talking with us, sharing with us that there's a problem. And most times there's something tied to it, a belief that one had back when they were a child. It could be a thought that they have kept, any of us have kept. All kinds of things, even to a point of we don't deserve to have happiness. And most of these things, from what I've learned, derive from the child. And some that I'm reading even say that it goes back to usually around 3 or 4 years old. So how do you feel about that? Do you think there's an emotional piece to it, and that has to be healed as well?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. In fact, something that I've discovered over the years of coaching and my own healing is the autonomy stage of growing up as a child to adulthood is never fully realized. Very few people have the opportunity to come into a place where they are totally into their authenticity. And so that time period in our younger years where we have that growth opportunity to define who we are and why we're here and what we're going to do in life as far as honoring whatever our passion and our gifts are, that gets squashed. Most people are told to be a certain way and act a certain way and think a certain way that is not in alignment with who they really are authentically. So then we spend the rest of our lives, or a better part of our life, until we awaken to the fact that we do have that power to step into who we are authentically in that core of who we were born as. And so I feel from my own trials and tribulations with the fibromyalgia was I was not honoring myself, and I had enabled others to define my life for me, and that goes all across the board. Teachers, family members, et cetera, and I didn't know how to be myself, and so I was giving to exhaustion, and my body broke down, and my body was telling me, you need to take care of yourself. You need to honor who you are, and learn to say no, and learn to define your boundaries, and step into what your passions are and what is important to you. And so I've learned that a lot of people as adults have not stepped into that space. This is who I am. If you don't like it, it's okay. But this is who I am. And right? It's okay because this is who I am. And to teach other people how to treat you as who you are. And women especially have a hard time giving up that nurturing part of ourselves long enough to nurture our individual self. So we, by nature, nurture others, and we give, and we take care of, and we want to help, but at our own expense. And so we come down with these dis-ease in the body, which becomes disease, and it can be anything from cancer to chronic colds to fibromyalgia. I mean, you name it, it's there. And the interesting thing about what happened with my healing is I made that declaration, and I happened to be at the beach. I cried all weekend, and the last night I did my 5th declaration, and literally that next week things started happening. And within 3 months of setting up a protocol that included the mind, body, spirit, soul balance and healing and detoxing, and the detoxing, as you know, is multiple levels and layers of different things. It only took 3 months for me to get off all my prescriptions and for me to be that authentic self where my light, my inner light that had been dimmed, was now shining brightly. And that gave me the foundation to build upon everything that has come from there to who I am today and what I do with all of the different things that I do with OTEL Universe and Ordinary to Extraordinary Life.
Right. Now, talk about and I've experienced this, where you're going along and you're doing everything you can, and then you have a little window where it opens up and you start to feel better physically. And how powerful that is, because it gives you hope. It gives you a knowing that this is something that you can leave behind and rise up to. I'm sure you have experienced that with the different health issues you've journeyed through.
Oh, absolutely. And I think if people can honor that window of opportunity and take whatever they can from that point forward to open that door a little more, open that window a little more, because the body can heal, the body does heal, the body does talk to us. We have to, that mental part of us has to drop into the heart, and we have to bring up that will, that part of us that will stop at nothing to achieve what we want to achieve. In fact, I heard a story the other day about a lady who was given 6 months to live, diagnosed with cancer, and she said, forget that, I'm going to go live my life. And so she went on cruises, and she did all kinds of fun things. And guess what? She's still alive. So, it's looking at, instead of looking, and this is what I did, instead of looking at, I have this disease, I have this sickness, I have this chronic illness, this thing that's ruling my life, I shifted my paradigm. So we have neural pathways. And it's proven in science that we can shift those neural pathways to create a different paradigm. So when I was going through my healing of fibromyalgia, I focused on what I wanted, and I stopped identifying with fibromyalgia. I stopped saying I have fibromyalgia. And I moved instead to say, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm healed, I'm already there. And then I determine what did I need to do now to align with what I want and those things that I said. And I had a really interesting experience about probably 4 to 6 weeks into that 3-month period where I'm driving down the interstate. And you know how sometimes when you're on a long road and you kind of go into that off, you're kind of daydreaming. So I was kind of in that daydream state. And I felt something shift. And then I'm a visual person, so I sometimes see things in pictures or words. Well, these 2 words, sickness and disease, I felt it like coming towards me, and then just whoop, right over my head. And then once that happened, I was back driving. And I'd never experienced anything like that before. So I asked some people later that day or the next day that were a little bit further along in the metaphysics area. And I said, what the heck was that? So we determined that I had physically shifted the paradigm. And that was the message that I would understand, that I'm no longer in that paradigm of sickness and disease. Instead, I'm in that paradigm of health and healing, and that's what my body did. My body healed. And I had people tell me that, I had friends tell me, when I was in the thick of my fibromyalgia, I looked 100 years old. After that 3 months, it was like I was a whole nother person. And I looked like I was, 20 to 30 years old again. And sick, sick.
So that's how far back that you experienced that particular disease?
I was in my 30s. Yeah, I was in my 30s. And at age 40 is when everything broke open and my life changed. And my understanding of health, of healing, of really the principles of the universe, how everything works. And I've applied that knowledge to everything I do in life, in personal life and in business life. Because, nothing is against us. Everything that we do in life works through us. So if we have, and you mentioned earlier, if we have negative thinking, negative thoughts, I'm a victim, life's against me, et cetera, you're going to get you're going to get things to prove that you're right. So it just takes a small shift to do the opposite. I'm all about, if you're thinking XYZ and it's not bringing you what you want, and you're banging your head against the wall and you're still sick from day to day, what is the opposite you can think or say? And then start having those thoughts and start saying the things that will get you the way you want to be. Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck in that old paradigm and that pattern. We have to shift the pattern. Life is all about intention, thoughts, and patterns.
Right. Yes. Yeah, and it's quite a journey too. So now let's move forward to then. Now you were teaching the mindfulness meditation and all. You were in all that realm, and you got bit by a spider.
I know. Oh man! If anybody's listening, and you know what it's like to overcome something, and then daggone if something else doesn't come along and kick you in the butt again. And I had 10 years of just
awesome. That long.
Yeah, I had 10 years from the healing that I was working out, and I was in great shape. Life was great. And then a brown recluse decided to bite me. And, again, took me down a rabbit hole. And, of course, I'm thinking, what the heck? I study positive thinking, and I know what it takes to move things forward in a positive momentum. Why did this happen? Why me? Why again? And I try not to, these days I try not to focus on that. All I know is I was angry. Oh, man, was I angry. I was so mad. But I took that anger and I said, you know what? I'm gonna beat this. And what I learned is I had a marker in my system that was for autoimmune, and it was like a flip switched off. And this spider bite flipped that switch on. So I decided that I was going to do everything in my power to beat this and to flip that switch off. I'm almost there. It's been 8 years since the spider bite, but I forced myself to continue to do my job, to continue to live, because I wasn't ready to die. I was not ready to give up on this life. It wasn't my time to go. So I just, it took about 2 years before I could be in the sun again, before I could eat normally. I basically lived on saltine crackers and applesauce for about 2 years because it threw me into an autoimmune issue. And but I'm
How
back
did you
at the
survive
gym.
that with just eating carbs and applesauce?
Yeah. I started
Did you
working,
juice or anything of that sort?
I didn't juice, but I did dive into all natural holistic healing. So I worked with a nutritionist, and she does muscle testing. And then I work with a functional medicine doctor. So they do testing outside of the normal testing. So you go deep. You really dig into where's the root of the issue. And with the nutritionist, we discovered in muscle testing, it's layers, and you cannot heal one layer before another layer before that gets healed. Otherwise, you're not going to get better. So we spent these years going through all the levels and all the layers, and I'm happy to say that there's some tests that you can do for what your body age is, and not your chronological age, but your body age. And my body age is now younger than what I really am chronologically. So I've come a long way, and I'm functional like a normal person would be functional, and I'm able to run multiple businesses and live fearlessly.
Wonderful. Well, we have to take a break, everyone, so don't go away. Stay with us more with Eileen Bild. If you'd like to get in touch with her, she has 2 websites. One is CoreThinkingBlueprint.com, CoreThinkingBlueprint.com, and the other is the OTEL Universe, and it's like hotel but without the H. OTEL Universe, all one word, .com. We'll be back in a moment.
Experience a different yet profound healing with Reconnective Healing. Includes yet expands beyond any and all known forms of energy healing. The Reconnective Healing spectrum is comprised of the full healing and evolutionary continuum of energy, light, and information. It allows for healings that are not just physical, not just mental, not just emotional, yet go beyond that to bring healing that includes the evolution of your very being and essence. Deborah Beauvais, trained and certified by world-renowned Dr. Eric Pearl, offers appointment hours at S.P.A.R.K Family Chiropractic in S.P.A.R.K, Massachusetts. For questions or to set up both distance or local sessions, call Deborah at 508-431-1959. Again, 508-431-1959. Or go to lovebyintuition.com. That's lovebyintuition.com.
Take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition Show, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Eastern. Our message is love in the purest form. The light within us all is a guide to recall our beginning, to learn to love self and humankind, and to feel the higher power of our own divinity. To attract love, one needs to be love. Come join us and step into this glorious vibration called love.
After narrowly surviving the attack on Sandy Hook Elementary, first grade teacher Caitlin Roy DeBellis was left searching for answers that would never come. Eventually, she chose to focus on questions that could be answered. How do I make sure this tragedy doesn't define us? How do we get our control back? Those 2 questions led her to found the 501c3 nonprofit organization Classes for Classes. When gifts poured into their classroom, she decided they would help someone else by paying it forward and being kind. This developed into a social network which allows K-8 classrooms to connect so that every student in the United States can learn these crucial lessons. Classes for Classes' mission is to build students' social-emotional intelligence by connecting them to care. All C4C projects are crowdfunded. Any teacher in the U.S. can visit classesforclasses.org. That's classes, the number 4, classes.org. Sign up today.
Looking for a fun and relaxing getaway? Omega Rest and Rejuvenation Retreats are a great way to unwind and renew your spirit. Sit and read in the garden, explore the woodland trails, or try a daily yoga or meditation class. You can stretch your body, quiet your mind, and do as much or as little as you choose. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org.
Delight your kids with an enchanting journey by reading the Paper Doll Kids children's book by Deborah Beauvais and Janine Sullivan. There's even a catchy tune, Kids for Love Song, produced by Bob Sherwood and sung by kids just like yours. The story weaves around 7 paper dolls flying around the world doing good deeds as they bring important attention to our endangered animal friends. There's even a magical ring with a universal message. Kids become interested in service projects, action through compassion, and planting seeds that nurture positive change. The Paper Doll Kids and Kids for Love Song are a production of the Kids for Love Project. Get the book now on Amazon Kindle and the song on CD Baby or iTunes.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
And we are back. And I'd like to remind everyone that the Paper Doll Kids book is now in hardcover, and you can find that wherever you shop for books, whether it's Amazon or any bookstore worldwide. So that's a fun thing. And it's a beautiful, fun adventure story. So I'd love for everyone to get a copy. And I think it's important to have ebooks, but I love holding a hard book. And it just reminds me of reading to the kids and the grandkids as well. We are with Eileen Bild. She is, as mentioned, a CEO of Ordinary to Extraordinary Life, OTEL Universe. She's also a clinician. She does mindfulness meditation, mindfulness leadership, validation, communication skills, as well as leadership. And so I want to just let the listeners know that what were your symptoms that you were pushing through, and how did you do it? Like, how did you find? Well, I have to ask you from my own experience. Working for yourself is an amazing tool when you have something that's chronic. If you have to lay on the couch for 15 minutes to regroup, you can. And I can't say enough about that. And I really feel for people that, have to work outside the home, and there's work that is missed because you just can't do it.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the struggles I think the majority of people have who might have some chronic condition if they work outside the home. And, it's tiring, it's debilitating, it's frustrating. So one of the things that I've done, and granted, I do have an advantage that I work for myself, and I'm, the CEO of the Ordinary to Extraordinary Life, and I can take time off any time. But there's some amazing tools that people can put into the toolbox to be able to still function when they're out and about. So we do video production, and I would be in the middle of a huge flare-up, face swollen, hot as can be, and I still went out and did full video production where we'd be gone 8 hours, and I pushed through it. So how did I survive that? And how did I survive the initial spider bite and the initial of the fibromyalgia to be able to be doing what I'm doing today and to be thriving and living fearlessly. Meditation is huge. Meditation is such a key tool that we can have, because the mind and the body are directly connected, and I'm sure you understand that, and you know how important it is to be aware of what's going on in the body. I think a lot of people disassociate and they disconnect. And really, you want to go inward, and you want to feel, where is that pain? Where is that core? Where is the dis-ease coming from? And as you mentioned earlier, a lot of it does stem from the past, and we hold on to things. If you hold grudges, resentment, we hear something and we take it on as a belief. So a lot of the things that I did along the way was to quiet my mind, drop into my heart, be in stillness as much as I can, just to come into that space of balance and centeredness. And that helps to heal the body, but it also helps in the business world, in the corporate world, in whatever world you're in that you're working in. Because when we're not balanced, we don't hear things the way it's really being said. So we misunderstand communication, right?
Sure.
And you don't have clarity when it comes to decision making. Your decisions are not made based on true clarity of information that you've taken in, because your mind has totally distorted it. So, there's so many things we can do, but I would say meditation and breath work would be two things that I would start as a practice if I really wanted to heal from any kind of disease. And getting the proper vitamins and minerals into the body, because the foods that we have these days is awful, horrendous. They don't have the nutrients that we need. So a functional medicine doctor digs deep into what minerals and, what are we missing? What's the body missing that could be causing the issues? And gut health is also a challenge for a lot of people that have an imbalance. And once you start to identify all of these aspects and you add the meditation and the breath work, because if you're not breathing well, your oxygen's not flowing. And then when the oxygen's not flowing well, you're not getting the oxygen to the brain. So then you have that fog. Did you have that fog when you had your challenge, Deborah?
Oh, yeah. I still have. But again, I talk about chronic Lyme, but not really wanting to say, as you said earlier, I'd like to move away from saying I'm experiencing this type of thing. But that's one of the main things, and there's so much. It's unbelievable with the chronic Lyme, with the co-infections. It's unbelievable the type of symptoms you have, and they're different for many, but when you do, when you start doing research and reading about other people and what they're experiencing, going back to Lyme back in, say, 50 years ago and how it has evolved, the main thing is you get validation that you're not alone. There are other people with these strange symptoms as well, and it's finding ways to, like you're saying, with the protocol for Lyme, it's doing Stephen Buckner herbs, but there's a whole slew of things. Vitamin D. Two of my favorite things. I have a number of them, but oregano oil is an amazing oil to put under your tongue. It's a preventative for colds and things, but most everything that I've been doing is all around building the immune, because as you were saying, if it's an autoimmune, and then if there's a celiac thing thrown in there as well, then your body starts attacking, and so you have to retrain it, open new pathways, and then help it with these types of things. Another one is aloe juice heals the gut, 3 times a day, organic, not at CVS, but go to a health food store or Whole Foods and buy it. The local health food store carries it. And then a good probiotic, not a probiotic that you pop in, that you can buy over the counter that has all kinds of additives. You've got to find one that is pure. And so those are the things, and the mindfulness and all the different things, talking with your higher self, because your higher self has the power to heal, but then you have to do the work to help it. I really believe that we can heal ourselves, but it's work. And what happens is, as you probably know, Eileen, many people don't, it's too much work for them. Even changing their diet, it's too much work. But if you do the work, you can be on the other side of it. And you just have to be diligent with what you're doing. One of the things that I've found with the Lyme, the chronic Lyme, is carbs. Now, I love carbs. I'm 90% organic, but even organic carbs, it's too much. And that's why I think, how did you live? Because it turns into glucose, and then glucose feeds on the Lyme, just like with cancer. It's something that sugar is not a good thing, because it fuels. It fuels cancer, it fuels Lyme, and so you have to really be diligent. And over time you become diligent because you can't take it anymore. And you need to function. And you want to function, and you want to do all the things that you have envisioned in your lifetime. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and there's some parallel between a spider bite and a tick bite, and any kind of bite that throws the body into an autoimmune, which also messes with the head. It's like it does. It causes not only the brain fog, but forgetfulness and all kinds of other side effects. And so, when I was in that 2-year period, I lost. When I got down to like 105 pounds, I'm only 5 feet tall, so I was really, really skinny, but which I was okay with because I always wanted to lose weight. But I look at it as, I think the human mind wants to believe ABC, XYZ, but sometimes the body knows what it needs to do, and I pay attention to my body every single day. And I know if I need to drink something more, or if I get this urge to eat some potato chips because it wants that salt, because I don't put salt in anything. And I don't question that. So back in those 2 years from the initial spider bite, I just allowed my body to experience whatever it needed in order for me to get it out of that stage into the next. And that meant applesauce, saltine crackers, and as it started to heal, then I could add some lettuce, some carrots, just very things that wasn't hard for the body to digest and work hard. And ultimately, I guess about 4 or 5 years later, I was able to feel like I could eat normal again. And just like everything, it's a process, and it's a process, understanding your body, yes, and what that process is, and it's not necessarily by the book. And I think that's what's helped me through my health challenges, is I don't go by the book. I beat to my own drum. I live life on my terms. I know my body, and everybody else should know their body better than any doctor, anybody outside of you. And, doctors know what they know, but they're not God, and they don't know everything. And that goes for any doctor, allopathic or holistic. So and then most of the things that we're talking about, spider bite, Lyme, chronic Lyme, there's not enough information out there, so a lot of the doctors aren't even aware of what to do. Now there are Lyme doctors focusing, and there's websites that have a list of them you can find in your area, but they're also not covered by insurance, and so it's out of pocket, which is anywhere from $250 to $500 per visit. And they may be testing or trying out different things just as you would. So I'm with you on that. I think it's good to have guidance, but it's also good to have an open mind and an open heart of trying different ways to maybe blend the two, do some of the norm that people are guided by doctors, but also listen to your body. I think it's so important what you're saying, Eileen. So
with that said, you have to find your way, and you make that choice. You make the choice. I want to live, because there's a darkness that comes with that line, too, where you're in a hole. And I've never experienced that before. And it's almost like, that's what I would say, you're in a dark hole and you're trying to crawl out. And you end up going to the ER that first year. Most people do, but then they stop going to the ER because there's nothing that they can do on their end. But with that said, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what you do now with your business and where you see that going. So everyone stay with us. Again, this is a live show. The number is 833-220-1200, and we welcome your call.
Take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition show, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Eastern. Our message is love in the purest form. The light within us all is a guide to recall our beginning, to learn to love self and humankind, and to feel the higher power of our own divinity. To attract love, one needs to be love. Come join us and step into this glorious vibration called love.
Delight your kids with an enchanting journey by reading the Paper Doll Kids children's book by Deborah Beauvais and Janine Sullivan. There's even a catchy tune, Kids for Love Song, produced by Bob Sherwood and sung by kids just like yours. The story weaves around 7 paper dolls flying around the world doing good deeds as they bring important attention to our endangered animal friends. There's even a magical ring with a universal message. Kids become interested in service projects, action through compassion, and planting seeds that nurture positive change. The Paper Doll Kids and Kids for Love Song are a production of the Kids for Love Project. Get the book now on Amazon Kindle and the song on CD Baby or iTunes.
Are miracles real? Can you move from mayhem to miracles? 30 prominent authors say yes as they share their high fives and down lows of challenges, abuse, addiction, and love. Experience hope, the magic elixir of miracles, through the personal stories of New York Times bestselling authors James Redfield, Dr. Bernie Siegel, Sister Jenna, Reverend Temple Hayes, and many more. If you like bestsellers, chaos to clarity, and crappy to happy, you'll love crying and laughing through mayhem to miracles. Sacred Stories of Transformational Hope, available now on Amazon and in bookstores worldwide.
It's a child's job to play, to learn, and to have fun. It's an adult's job to keep them safe. Did you know that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18? Every day, families enter the Children's Advocacy Center because a child's courage to tell someone what happened to them. Keeping our children safe starts with a conversation. This is Michelle Aranger, Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Center. Learn more on how to keep your child safe. Visit cacofbc.org. This message made possible by the Fall River Rotary Club.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
And we are back. For the listeners, I would like to just share that I believe that anything that we experience is actually a gift, because it brings you an opportunity to go within to find out what the core is and then heal that. And that really gives you power and knowing that you are loved, and that it all gives you power. And you can, if you're diligent, and I know Eileen will agree with me, if you're diligent and you keep going and you do the research and find ways to heal your body, yourself, what works for you, because everyone has to make that choice, what works for you, then just be diligent, because you know on the other side of it, you just thrive and you have the clarity and the direction of what you want to do with your life on the other side. So it's an all good situation, even though it's a hard journey. But it's life on earth, as I say. So
yeah, it's life on earth, and I like to say life is the master teacher. So it's looking out. Well, what's the lessons to learn, right? So you wanted to lead this, and you want to lead this section into what I'm doing. So if you're okay, I'll kind of dive into that. off of
Sure.
what you just said. Yeah. So,
let me ask you.
Yeah.
How did you, tell us how OTEL came to be. Was it an idea that someone suggested? Was it something that popped in your mind during meditation? How did that come to be?
Right. So 2014, my husband and I were kind of bantering, starting the video business, and we decided to do that. And we needed to come up a name for the business, and we threw around some names and came up with Ordinary to Extraordinary Life, and the URL was not taken on that, so we grabbed it. And then 8 years later, COVID hit. Everything that we were doing, which was more than the video production, there was the coaching and other things, the writing and the talk show. And COVID hit, shut everything down, and we're forward-thinking people. So I use the same techniques and principles for the healing from the medical issues for business, which is you don't stop, you don't sit and become the victim. So we pushed forward with the ROKU channel development. We're executive producers and produce ROKU channels. And we had just literally 2 weeks before launched our first channel, and then everything stopped. So we dove into that and decided to have an overarching umbrella called OTEL Universal Voice. And because we're so involved with music and with the coaching that I do, it's sparking people, helping people move forward in all different ways in life and business, to help them with the reframing and re-engineering of their thinking in order to have success. So our platform is we give people a voice to showcase their passion, visions, and dreams. So we have alliances and partners, and we feature all original music from all around the world, indie musicians and individuals, bands and individuals on our ROKU music channels. And then we have a ROKU channel called OTEL Universe, which is people sharing their passion for making the world a better place. Everything we do is about inspiring others, healing, moving the world forward in a positive light, because, there's so much darkness around us and so much chaos and drama that someone's got to be a pivotal point, a point in the world of light, and we're one of those people. We like to be that grounded space where people who have a passion for their voice, for their endeavors, for whatever their art, for their business, and they want to share that with the world, and they want other people to respect and honor and value what they have to offer. And we have a platform that provides that.
Mm. And the music is just something that we all need. It not only brings everyone together, it reminds us of a time when we heard beautiful music, when we're in the light, if that makes sense. So there's so much that music can do. It's enjoyable, it touches your soul, and it brings unity consciousness to another level. So I love that part of your business. So what's neat is that you're working with your hubby, and what's better than that? It's a neat thing. It's a neat deal, Eileen.
Thank you. Yes, we're very fortunate. We have a very strong relationship, and we are able to live and work together basically 24/7. We both know what our strengths are, and we support each other in every direction that we go, and that's very positive for growth, whether it's individually or for the business. And you know how the universe works. It's when you're in that flow, when you're in the momentum of moving forward, it's not work, and people and events and experiences show up, and you just honor that and move with it.
Right. I think at times it is work because I don't believe that you can just sit and expect everything to come to you once you've done the work and when you're on that path. But the work it has a different flavor, it has a different feel, because you're making a difference in people's lives. And I think each and every one of us, that is one of the pieces when we become awakened to make a difference in the world. People say, your purpose. And the purpose is always, if it's serving someone else, it's exactly what you should be doing. And then like what you have created, and I know on my end as well, is all the pieces that you've done, they all kind of come together in like a support system where there isn't anything that you've done in your life as a position or job that you can't utilize wisdom from that to where you are today. And before you know it, you've got a whole orchestra of different tools and different modalities or ideas that you can pull from. And that's one of the things I wanted to ask is, when it comes to ideas, you and your husband, do you say, oh, that's a great idea, or do you pull it together, or say, oh, no, that's not good for now, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, great.
What's the dynamic there?
Yeah, so this is our daily routine. We live, we have this great porch that overlooks the lake. And so every morning we have our business meeting on the front porch.
Oh, good.
And,
good.
Yeah, and I mean on the back porch, on the front porch for the back porch. and we share any thoughts that we have and what our agenda is for the day individually, and if we have to do anything together to make sure we're in alignment with that. And then we go about our day, and then we communicate throughout the day. Sometimes I have to leave, and he's mostly, stays in the office environment. And then in the evening, after either before dinner, we'll sit on the porch again and talk about our day and any thoughts, ideas, opportunities that have arrived. And we make a decision on, do we want to pursue it? Do we want to table it? Do we want to talk about it? Do we want to, put it in the trash? I love that. Yeah, so we have a great communicative system, and we think alike. We're basically mirrors of each other. He's a male and I'm a female, but we are pretty much, the same person, just in different bodies and, different. Like I said, he's a male, I'm a female. And so, we can get through a business meeting, quote unquote, pretty quickly because we're pretty decisive. And since we have such a strong foundation now of the business that we know where it's heading and where we want it to head and how we want to continue to build it out. And so it's a great synergy that we have that works. And we, of course, integrate the knowledge and the wisdom that we've gained over the years on our own experiences, leaders, and past jobs that we've had. And we've combined all the things that we are and then some. And we still learn. We still have our own personal and professional development that comes up. And
your own journeys.
Yes, yeah. And we look at everything as life is a journey. And, our life is not a practice run. Yesterday's gone, and we have today till our last breath, which as we get older, that space becomes shorter. So then we're like, okay, what are we going to do with this space? How are we going to enjoy life and really enjoy being there for others to help them to achieve their visions, goals, and dreams. And that's what we do.
Right. The bottom line is it's finding the balance in everything that we do, whether it's our position or our job, the family, the personal time, the couple time, the family time, whatever your life is about, it's about balance, which comes back to our bodies. Everything is in balance when everything is going well, and if there's issues medically, it's because you're not in balance, and the goal is to get to that place. So, well, we are out of time, Eileen. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Everyone listening, and pass it on. If you're a musician, connect with Eileen. It's OTELuniverse.com, OTELuniverse.com, and you can go on her site where she does more of the healing work, and the coaching is CoreThinkingBlueprint.com. So check it out, and if you have other people that are interested, send Eileen a note and reach out to her. And so for everyone listening, as I always say, listen again, share the show, and think about all the things that we're chatting about. See if it feels comfortable for you. See if it resonates and fits. And then do your own research on anything, whether it's a new opportunity with the job. Do your research, but listen to your intuition, because that always tells the truth. And so if you're looking for truth and a pathway and a direction, tune into your intuition. Until we meet again, au revoir.
Are you seeking a clearer path to love? Then tune in to the Love by Intuition show next week. All designed to your highest good. To contact Deborah Beauvais, owner of Empowered Connections, call her at 508-226-1723. That's 508-226-1723. Or link on to lovebyintuition.com. Remember, we are all one, and we are all part of the miracle of love.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.